This is Bergstrom State Line Quiz Bowl, Junior Edition. Now from the Collins Aerospace Studio at the Nordloff Center in downtown Rockford, here's your host, Eric Wilson.
Welcome to the semifinals of the Bergstrom State Line Quiz Bowl Junior Edition. Last week, you saw Winnebago pull away from All Saints to make the Final Four. This weekend is a rematch of last year's finale of our Junior Edition. It's Keith versus Marshall. Let's meet our teams, shall we? First, the Keith Country Day Cougars. Keith put up the most points so far this season in its last match, 420. That sets the bar pretty high. Mitch, so let's see how you do in this game. Introduce us to your starting lineup.
I am Mitch. That's Raj, Graham, and Jack.
Welcome to the Keith Country Day Cougars, playing against last year's champs, the Marshall Mustangs. Marshall was just shy of 400 points in its last game. Expect this one to be a pretty high score between our two teams. Osman is the captain. Introduce us to your starting lineup.
I'm Osman, and this is Danush, this is Dardan, and this is Nathan.
Welcome to both of our teams. Good luck. And we begin with our buzz-in round. You've played this game enough. You know how the game works. The two most important rules: wait for me to call your name before you answer, and say your answer loudly and clearly. Here is our first question this week. Good luck, teams. What structures in a human body are produced by osteoblasts, have types called the tibia and femur? Nathan.
Bones.
That is correct. Roughly 200 of them in the human body. Marshall is first on the board in the game. Matsuo Basho was a master of what Japanese poetic form, which in English, Graham?
Haiku.
Yes, typically written in lines of 5, 7, and 5 syllables. Keith's got points now. What stadium was the site of Babe Ruth's called shot, Steve Bartman's bobble, and hundreds of Harry Carey renditions of Take Me Out to the Ball Game at home games for the Chicago Cubs? Jack.
Wrigley Field.
Yes, the Cubs play at Wrigley. With Sudan, what country contains Lake Nasser, which was created by the construction of the Aswan High Dam on this country's southern section of the Nile River? Jack.
Egypt.
Yes, you got it right before the buzzer. That is 3 in a row for Keith. What kind of objects in space were discovered by Giuseppe Piazzi when Giuseppe Piazzi found Ceres, Kirkwood Gaps, Dardan?
Asteroids.
That is correct. Kirkwood Gaps between the objects are found in their namesake belt between Mars and Jupiter. What religious practice uses koans and positions like Padmasana to achieve sati, a form of mindful reflection, and is common in Buddhism? Raj.
Meditation.
That is right. What country has its judicial capital at Bloemfontein, its executive capital at Pretoria? Dardan.
South Africa.
That is right, and its most populous city is Johannesburg. What material did Auguste Rodin use to create The Thinker and The Age of This Metal? Dardan.
Stone.
I will finish for Keith. This metal alloy, a combination of copper and tin. Mitch.
Bronze.
That is right. What mathematical term describes formulas written in f of x form, which Graham.
Oh, sorry, functions.
Function is correct. Exactly one output for every input, and they pass the vertical line test. What fictional character was voiced by Boris Karloff in a 1966 TV special in which, with the help of his dog Max, this character, Jack?
The Grinch.
Yes, tricks little Cindy Lou Who and steals Christmas from Whoville. 3 more in a row for Keith. What figure of speech is demonstrated by All the World's a Stage? This figure of speech compares two things directly with Mitch.
Metaphor.
Yes, without using like or as, unlike simile. What American president delivered the fireside chats? Oh, Mitch.
FDR.
Yes, over the radio to keep the public informed during the Great Depression. Name the dystopian novel in which O'Brien tortures Winston Smith for rebelling against Big Brother. Oh, Jack.
1984.
Yes, you didn't even need the author, which was the last clue there, a work by George Orwell. You are now in triple digits, Keith. What musical term, derived from the Italian for strong, is a dynamic marking, Raj?
Forte.
Yes, a dynamic marking that tells a musician to play loudly. It's F on music sheets. What range's namesake trail stretches between Springer Mountain and Mount Katahdin and leads hikers through the eastern United States? Mitch?
Appalachian.
Yes, that runs through 14 states from Georgia to Maine, and that's how we end the round with that run from Keith. Keith is off to a very strong start, 120 points. Marshall has 30, but we've got a lot of games to play. There's 3 more rounds. Our next one is called volleyball, and it's next. One round into this semifinal game, Keith is off to a very strong start. 120 points, Marshall has 30. But again, 3 more rounds to play. Those scores will change pretty dramatically before this game is over. Before we get to our next round, which is volleyball, a very special thank you to Brad Fisher. Brad is our judge today. Brad is also the head editor of the IHSA Scholastic Bowl State Series. We call on Brad's expertise a lot, and his answer is always yes. We really appreciate that, Brad. I've said this before, I'll say it again. You make our game better. Thanks for being here and being our judge today. Appreciate it. All right, contestants, our volleyball round is a conferring round. Work as a team. That's encouraged, but the answers have to come from the captains. Because of the flip, Marshall, you get first volleyball question today. Osman, are you ready?
Yep.
Here it comes. Lemony Snicket, which replaced the name Daniel Handler, is what type of pseudonym used in place of a real name as the listed author of a book? The buzzer got you there. Pen name is what we needed. We would have taken nom de plume as well. Pen name. Over to Keith now for your first question of the round. Ellipses, hyperbolas, and parabolas are all sections of what kind of 3-dimensional shape whose volume is equal to 1/3 times the area of the base times the height?
Cylinder.
Incorrect. You're close. A cone. Those are all conic sections. Back over to Marshall. After the Battle of Bladensburg, the British captured Washington, D.C. and burned the White House during what war?
War of 1812.
That's correct. Seems like the whole team knew that. Dardan almost ripped your ear off telling you that answer. Nice job. You get the first points of the round. Back over to Keith. In the 2022 film adaptation of the Uncharted video game series, Nathan Drake was portrayed by what actor who succeeded Andrew Garfield in 2016 on film as Spider-Man?
Tom Holland.
Yes, that's right. He also appeared with Holland and Tobey Maguire in the latest Spider-Man movie. Carcinization is a process by which animals have evolved to be more like what animals? These decapod crustaceans have a pair of claws and are shorter than lobsters.
Crabs.
Yes, SpongeBob's boss is one of those. You've got more points, and we've got a new question. Stravinsky's The Rite of Spring is a musical work that accompanies this type of performance in which dancers often use special shoes to perform on the tips of their toes.
Ballet.
Yes, that also seemed like a team effort. Keith's got another right answer. We're going over to Marshall for a new question. Name the artist who rapped Can't Be That Chick on BB Rexha's song Baby I'm Jealous, featured SZA on Kiss Me More, and broke out in 2020 with the hit Say So.
Doja Cat.
Danush, you get credit for that question. You knew that one right away. That is Doja Cat. Nice work. Name the Shakespeare play in which the title Thane of Glamis and Cawdor murders Duncan to become the King of Scotland.
Macbeth.
That is correct. We're in a theater. We should probably just call that the Scottish play. We don't want any bad luck hitting us, but we'll take that answer from you, and we're on to a new question for Marshall. Name the Spartan princess with a face that launched 1,000 ships whose kidnapping by Paris began the Trojan War.
Helen of Troy.
That is correct. Legendarily, the most beautiful woman in the world. Those are Marshall's points, and that's how we end the round. So both of our teams did really well in this round. Once we got going, Keith's up to 150, Marshall is at 70. We're halfway through the game. Our next round is lightning, and there are lots of points on the line. We'll do that in just a couple of minutes, but first, you get to play at home with the Bergstrom bonus question, and we'll be back with the answer.
Known as Barry Obama on his high school basketball team, Barack Obama was the only U.S. president born in which state?
I have to say the best part of our commercial breaks here is watching Jack work the crowd. It's awesome. We have a nice audience here today. We're going to take, at halftime, we ditch questions worth points. And now I think we've come up with a new nickname for this. It's the pizza question. We know it as the Bergstrom bonus question, but it's the pizza question now. Thanks for the suggestion, Jack, because it's pizza and pasta from Lino's of Rockford. So hands on your buzzers. Let me know if you know the answer to this. Anyone watching at home already saw this. Let's see if you were correct in your guess. And listen to the whole question. Known as Barry Obama on his high school basketball team, Barack Obama is our only U.S. president born in which state? Dardan.
Hawaii.
That is correct. We do have a crowd here. I paused for your applause because you deserve the applause. My fellow White Sox superfan Obama turned 61 years young earlier this week. Enjoy the pizza and pasta. You enjoy this next 2 minutes or so of break, and we'll come back with our Nika IBEW lightning round. See you in a few minutes. Marshall closed the gap a little bit in that last round. Here's where our scores sit as we head into the Nika IBEW lightning round. Keith has 150 and Marshall has 70. Keith also gets first pick this week in lightning. Remember, teams in this round, you can work as a team, but all the answers have to come from the captains. So Mitch, your choices of categories are European flags, get an A in science, and American foods.
American foods.
You got it. Identify regional delicacies from around America, given their best known source and a description of the food. So I'll tell you basically where the food's from, and I'll describe it. All of your answers will be food. You have 60 seconds to go through these 10, and if you get them all, you will add 100 points to your score. And then, Osman, you and the team will have 30 seconds to get to whatever they don't. Advice for both teams, you can pass if you need, because remember, the clock is running. You ready for your first one, Mitch?
Yeah.
All right. Identify regional delicacies from around America, given their best known source and a description of the food. From across America, a sausage served in a bun with Coney Island and Chicago variants.
Hot dog.
Correct. From Illinois, a pan-baked, thick-crusted food made by Lou Malnati's and Giordano's.
Deep dish pizza.
That's correct. From Pennsylvania, a shaved beef sandwich, usually served with onions and Cheese Whiz.
Philly cheesesteak.
Correct. First made in Minnesota, a brand of canned ham loaf made by Hormel.
Spam?
Yes. From New York, a grilled sandwich made with corned beef and sauerkraut.
Panini.
Incorrect. A meringue-covered pie made with condensed milk and a citrus fruit grown in a Florida archipelago.
A quiche.
Incorrect. From Massachusetts, a sandwich containing peanut butter and marshmallow cream.
Pass.
From New Orleans, Café du Monde, a deep-fried piece of pastry dough covered in powdered sugar.
Pancake.
Incorrect. From Colorado, the testicles of bulls often served... Ran out of time there. Saved by the bell, I think. All right, that was more like a censor beep. 4 of them correct. It started out pretty easy. There's 6 of them still on the board for you, Osman, but you only have 30 seconds for them. There's one that I didn't even get to and read. I'll read them as fast as I can for you, and maybe if you, at least these first few that you've heard, you may get through them really quickly. 30 seconds on the clock. Identify regional delicacies from around America, given their best known source and a description of the food. From New York, a grilled sandwich made with corned beef and sauerkraut.
Pass.
Meringue-covered pie made with condensed milk and a citrus fruit grown in a Florida archipelago.
Lemon meringue.
Incorrect. From Massachusetts, a sandwich containing peanut butter and marshmallow cream.
S'mores.
Incorrect. From New Orleans, Café du Monde, a deep-fried piece of pastry dough covered in powdered sugar.
Donut.
Say that again?
Donut.
Incorrect. From Colorado, the testicles of bulls often served deep-fried. Again, we have to end on that question. I want to apologize to you because I didn't write that one. I just read what's here in front of me. So you didn't add any to your score yet. Let's go over those that no one got. The sandwich from New York with corned beef and sauerkraut is a Reuben. The pie from Florida is key lime pie. The Massachusetts sandwich with peanut butter and marshmallow cream is a fluffernutter. The deep fried pastry dough, you said donuts. That was a good guess. They're beignets. In fact, downtown Disney in California has fantastic beignets. The Colorado food, which I won't repeat again, were Rocky Mountain oysters. Again, apologies for that one. And we did have one from Pennsylvania. Meatloaf made of leftover pig parts is scrapple. All right, we've got 2 left for you to pick from, Osman. That's European flags or get an A in science.
European flags.
Okay. Hopefully we don't have any questions about bulls in this one. Given a description of a European country's flag and some additional information, name the country. So basically, I'm describing the flag, you name the country. The clock starts when I read this first one. Same rules apply to you, Mitch. Anything they don't get to or I don't read, you'll have 30 seconds for those points as well. Given a description of a European country's flag and some additional information, name the country. The blue, white, and red tricolor which flies over Paris.
France.
Correct. Vertical stripes of green, white, and red which flies over Rome.
Italy.
Correct. Horizontal stripes of blue over yellow which was flown in solidarity.
Sweden.
Say that again.
Sweden.
Incorrect. The Union Jack, which also appears in the flag of Australia.
UK.
Correct. Horizontal stripes of red, white, and red, which flies over Vienna.
Austria.
Correct. Horizontal stripes of black, red, and gold, which flies over the Reichstag building.
Germany.
Correct. Red and gold horizontal bands with a coat of arms featuring symbols of Castile and Aragon.
Spain.
Correct. Vertical stripes of green, white, and orange symbolizing unity between Catholics and Protestants.
Ireland.
Correct. A red square with a white cross, one of only 2 square national flags in the world.
Switzerland.
Correct. The only other square flag, which includes the keys of St. Peter. Time got you. I could not finish that. You added 8 correct answers, gets you 80 points. You're up to 150. There's 2 left for you, Mitch. You have 30 seconds. Take it all if you need it, or we can blaze through it and move on. Given a description of a European country's flag and some additional information, name the country. Here is your first one. Horizontal stripes of blue over yellow, which was flown in solidarity
Ukraine.
after this country. Say it again.
Ukraine.
Correct. The only other square flag, which includes the keys of St. Peter and the papal tiara.
Switzerland.
Incorrect. That was the other square flag. So there's nothing else to go back to. That's the Vatican or Vatican City. Only 2 square flags. All right, so we have a 50-point game right now going into our final challenge. Each of these questions is worth 20 points, so this could go anybody's way because 50 points is not a lot in this final challenge round, and it's right after this break. We have a 50-point game here as we head into our Mercy Health final challenge. Keith is on top right now with 200. Marshall has 150. A spot in the finale is on the line. Again, both of these teams have been there before. This was our finale last year. Only one of them will be there this time around. Hands on your buzzers, contestants. Same rules as the first round, other than a point change. Each question now is worth 20. And then the 2 most important things to remember. Wait for me to call your name and say your answer loudly and clearly. Hands on your buzzers. Good luck to both of our teams. Here we go. The trace is the sum of the entries along the main diagonal of what type of mathematical object? A rectangular array that consists of, Mitch?
Matrix?
Yes, consists of numbers listed in rows and columns. Name the Edgar Allan Poe short story in which Montresor tricks Fortunato into a cellar with the promise of the title wine and then bricks him into a wall. Mitch?
The red wine.
Incorrect. Marshall, these points could be yours. Go ahead, Osman.
Telltale Heart.
Incorrect. The story is terrifying, one of Poe's best, The Cask of Amontillado. What country's Rugyong Hotel has been under construction since 1987? Osman.
North Korea.
Osman?
North Korea.
That is correct. Name the Mesoamerican civilization whose hero twins appear in the Popol Vuh and who built a pyramidal temple in Chichen Itza. Mitch?
Aztecs.
Incorrect. Marshall? Go ahead, Dardan.
Mayans.
Those are the Mayans, yes, and you can visit Chichen Itza in Mexico. Name the reproductive structures produced by ferns, which are released from the gills of mushrooms. Darden?
Spores.
Spores is right. That's 3 in a row for Marshall. Edward Pakenham died at what January 8, 1815 battle? An American victory over the British that actually took place, Mitch?
New Orleans.
Yes, 18 days after the Treaty of Ghent ended the War of 1812. What international organization replaced the disgraced Sepp Blatter with Gianni Infantino in 2016 amid controversy over Russia and Qatar being awarded hosting privileges for the World Cup? Dardan.
The Olympic Committee.
Incorrect. Keith? Go ahead, Mitch.
FIFA.
FIFA is correct. Those are your points. What genre of painting includes John Constable's The Haywain and El Greco's View of Toledo? Mitch?
Landscape.
Yes, you didn't even need the final clue. These paintings show a wide view of a scene of nature. What Asian city's 2014 umbrella movement protested the restriction? Dardan.
Hong Kong.
Yes, civil liberties in this special administrative region of China. Name the property measured in coulombs that is moved by electric current. Electrons and protons have negative and
Charge. Charge.
That is correct. Name the U.S. state that contains the Grand Teton National Park and most of Yellowstone National Park. Dardan.
Montana.
Incorrect. I'll finish for Keith. And whose capital is Cheyenne. Jack.
Alaska.
Incorrect. That's Wyoming. Nolan Bushnell co-founded both Chuck E. Cheese and what classic video game company whose 2600 console had games like Pac-Man? Dardan.
Atari.
Atari is right. Pac-Man, Space Invaders, and the flop E.T. You earn the last points of the round, but it is not enough. Keith Country Day gets to 300 points, and they are moving on to the finals. Congratulations, Keith. You are back there, just with a different opponent. Marshall, congratulations, because you know it's not easy to make it this far. You played really, really well. That last round, it was question for question. We went in with that same 50-point gap that we ended with. How many of you are 8th graders? So it's possible we may see many of you, all of you, on Marshall's team this fall in our high school tournament. We hope that's the case, and we hope to see you next week when we'll find out who Keith will be playing when St. Bridget faces Winnebago. We'll see you then.